All right, guys, SoFi update here. So, overall market had a pretty selling day. It looked like a lot of big tech names were selling off, some small cap names were selling off. I know IWM ended the day green, but stocks like SoFi sold off, Open Door popped and then sold off. So, really just a bad week for SoFi, down about 10% and pretty much giving back a lot of the gains on the month. Um, this chart is actually playing out better than I expected. So this blue line right here is going to be earnings. So that is pre-market on the 28th. This chart is playing out very nicely though. So I do expect a pop to form that next shoulder before we start heading towards the 23 and 2370. Now, this is a good thing. This is where I would love to buy SoFi. If we look at the flow, short term, let's go short term flow just for the next 3 weeks. So this one expired today. That one actually already paid. We'll go for the next month. All premiums next month. The puts have stacked up quite a bit, which means we anticipate SoFi to probably pop and then come back down. So this will be your right shoulder and then come back down. So you're actually forming what is called a head and shoulders. And I will draw that out right quick. There we go. So I do expect SoFi to come down to these green lines, fill this fair value gap, test the uptrend, and so you'll see a pop early next week and then drop. And that's just based on the flow. So this is actually perfect. You want SoFi selling off heading into earnings because that means you can get calls cheap, you can get shares cheap, and then we can bounce, well above 30 heading into the end of the year and into the new year. Some large flow I saw for next year, over 500K. Check this out. So they're buying leaps already because in the short term, you have so much time on these leaps. Yes, they're down on these already, but it's fine. They have plenty of time. So this is a positive sign. I would like to be able to pick up leaps at a very good entry, which would be down here, 2370, 2334. And then on X, I didn't really see anything too crazy. Some people are also agreeing. This guy thinks 22. I think my green lines are more on point. And then some irrational fear to sell puts on, which reminded me to tell you guys, I think this would be a great time. So the put premium has spiked up, right? SoFi is down 10%. People are shorting it. The put premium has spiked up. The call premium is down. So if SoFi has earnings on October 28th, you could come here. You could sell a put for where you want to buy it, which for me personally, if we look at my chart, I'm targeting 2334. That's where I think SoFi holds. So I could sell the 23 put. And if I do that, I'm getting paid $54. If I were to get a sign, that means I would buy 100 shares at $23. So I would need to have $2,300 in this account for capital to be held to be able to sell this put. Now, if we do expect SoFi to bounce, I can buy to close this for a 50% gain or make $25, or I can just let it ride close to expiration. I can buy to close it, or I can just let it expire worthless. Or if I were to get a sign, then I would have 100 shares at $23. Heading into earnings, I think that'd be a pretty good play. We pop it up, says it goes back to 30. Now you're up $700 on the shares already, and you can begin selling covered calls. So it's a really cool strategy. If you are kind of impatient and you want to make money, I think selling puts is cool. Now, if you're wanting to get SoFi at a particular price and don't really want to watch every day, it's another thing you can do. So I do think this is going to play out. And for those who have not been keeping up with the videos, this is the ultimate play here. So I think it's going to come down. We load calls at this uptrend and shares, and then boom. So earnings is always a risk. So you'd want to probably take more time on your calls, because if SoFi were to drop for any reason, that could hurt the calls. So always be careful. Shares are safer. and just know that earnings is risky. But that's what I have for SoFi. Nothing crazy today, just another sell-off day, but we'll see how it goes for earnings. Please like and subscribe and have a good one.